What's going on, everybody? The Threesome Show is back in effect. I am your host, Don the Pleasure Coach, and I have a co host now, and she is an amazing person. And I can go on for days talking about her, but I'd rather her talk about herself. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Bridget on.
Hi.
So, Bridget, tell the people who you are, how they can follow you, and just anything you want them to know.
My name is Bridget. I'm 32. I'm a loctician and I also write music. My Instagram is Bridget Elena at 714 on Instagram.
All right, cool. So, welcome to the Threesome Show. We actually have been chopping it up about this like stuff like this for a while now, and I just had to have her on the show with me. So we're gonna jump right into it. I have been stewing on this topic for a while. I've thrown it out there. I've had people talk about it on TikTok, on Instagram. How do you feel about monogamy?
I
Do you
like
think that
monogamy.
so? Do you think monogamy is how people should live, or is supposed to live, or is it just kind of for each person?
Um, I do feel like that's how we should live. I did hear someone's perspective who is in a poly relationship. So I did kind of look at that in a different perspective. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like, not one person is not going to be perfect. They're going
Hmm.
to fall short in certain areas. So I feel like it's all about loving each other, learning each other, picking each other up, when you're down. Yeah, so I don't know. I personally am all for monogamy.
So I'm by nature I'm a monogamous person. I prefer
Okay.
monogamy. However, um, I do look at I've read things and to just get kind of get knowledgeable on the subject. First of
Okay.
all, humans are one of the only animals in the kingdom that practice monogamy.
Okay.
Um, so I feel like yeah, monogamy is works for some people, but it shouldn't be a stamp that gets put on every relationship because there are people out there who are in monogamous relationships who shouldn't be,
Mhm.
who
Yeah.
really should be in either a polygamous relationship,
Mhm.
a sister wife relationship, sister
Mhm.
husband relationship. Like there's different aspects that we've yet to really truly explore. And
Mhm.
now that the TV shows are coming out, people are going, oh well, maybe that might be for me, as
Right.
opposed to just thinking, okay, so I'm going to be with one person. That's going to be the one person I'm with for the rest of my life. It doesn't work for everybody.
Right. Yeah, I can agree. I do feel like it's what people prefer because I feel like some women who aren't monogamous, they're fine with a man having more than one woman at a time because they also like women themselves. And then I feel like men who have a history of just cheating, 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 and they can never stay in a committed relationship. I feel like they're the ones that shouldn't be in a monogamous relationship. You know.
Right. I totally agree with you. And there's guys out there who would rather lie to somebody and
Right.
tell them it's just me and you, it's just us, it's gonna be us forever, and then go
Yeah.
cheat as opposed to going to the woman and saying, you know what, I would rather have more than one woman because they would be shocked at how many women would say, I'm cool with that.
Right, right. Yeah, I seen a post not too long ago where it was a guy who said he would try it out, and it was a whole bunch of girls that commented like, "Oh, I'm down." Like, he kind of said he wants to go on a date with two women at the same time, and there was a lot of women that said they was down. Like me personally, I don't. I feel like I believe in monogamy because I'm a very jealous person. Like that
Mm.
would bother me. I mean, and I'm not scared to say it. I'm a little possessive. Like I just feel like what's mine is mine. So I'm not about to openly and willingly share what's mine. Because when it's vice versa, I feel like a man wouldn't be able to handle that. Like, and I do feel like it's a double standard on the poly. Like I feel like, it's more so about pleasing a man. Not saying like a woman, if you getting pleasure out the other woman, okay. But it's like how often is it one woman and two men? You know what I'm saying? So I
So on
honestly,
so when it comes to that, I agree with you. First of all, there is a
mm,
huge double-edged sword. When it
yeah,
comes to a man having multiple women and a woman having multiple men, and it's a unfair double-edged sword. Oh my God, it's unfair. So if a woman says, you know what, I want to have multiple men, most men can't handle that. First of all,
mm,
and I know every guy out there is gonna be like, Don, shut the hell up, mind your business. But it's a fact. Like most men can't handle their woman saying, I want to be with more than one man,
right,
um, either emotionally or sexually. Mostly emotionally, but
mm,
definitely sexually, because they feel like what's mine is mine, but yet they'll sit there and say, you know what, I feel like I could deal with more than one woman at the same time.
right,
Um, and it's really messed up because it's not the case. Like women want that too.
right. Yeah, it's people. I mean, I feel like people want different things. I feel like whatever works for each person. The girl who said she was in a polygamous relationship, she said that she did it because her partner fell short. Like, so she basically was like, if a man is good in every category, so like if he's a provider, protector, everything's good, but the sex is whack. She like, you just gonna leave a good man alone? And I'm like, okay, I see your point. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And in that aspect, I do see your point because it's like, dang, he's great in every area except for that. So it's like you just gonna write him off because the sex is bad. Where I feel like some women would. You know what I'm saying? Because like I know women that do it. They be like, if the sex ain't good, then and it don't matter how good of a guy he is. So I guess it's like a way of balancing out. Like, oh, I got this good guy, but I'm getting my needs met over here with this guy. So I did understand her perspective. Me personally, I still just couldn't do it. That's just I don't know why. It's just ain't in me.
So you couldn't do it with having more than one man, and with having your man have more than one woman, or you couldn't do
Yeah,
it with your man having more than one woman.
and neither. Number one, I'm not having two. I'm not having two men at once. No. And then definitely not the women because number one, I'm not sexually attracted to women. Like I could say a woman is beautiful, she's attractive, but I'm not sexually attracted to a woman. And then it's just like, no, I'm very jealous, very possessive. Like if I feel like you being a little too friendly to an extent, I'm gonna be jealous. Some women don't want to admit that, but I know that I am. So I know it's like it's no sharing. Um, I don't know. That's just how I am. So I couldn't share my man with other women. I couldn't imagine. Like I would be like, okay, we'll just have them. Like if I'm not good enough, then have them.
But is it a not good enough situation, or is it just a man who is a conqueror? Like some men are, well, by nature, the man is a conqueror. So some guys feel like having more than one woman is a conquest. So it may not be that you're not enough. It just may be that he wants that much more.
Well, I mean, I feel like if he's not getting all that he needs with me, he can go over there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just my opinion. You know.
Your
I mean,
opinion's
I
valid
look at it
though.
because the reason why is because no man. That's the thing. No man is perfect, but I have enough self control to be like, okay, he's not perfect when it comes to this, but I'm not just gonna go and feel like I need multiple men because he's not perfect. I feel like when it comes to a partner, it takes time for y'all to learn each other. So I feel like y'all learn each other, y'all build whatever in whatever departments that y'all lack, that's where y'all help make each other stronger. You know, I personally don't feel like how can someone give their undivided attention? Number one, we all got lives, we all got to work. And outside of that, how can you give your attention to multiple people? You know, I
Yeah,
just but you know, and I feel like you could give it to this person, but you're gonna be, you know, this person gonna be lacking attention or whatever the case may be, you know. So I mean, I know people do it. It's just not something that I think, you know, I would want to do.
and that's kind of like where I am when it comes to like polygamy and polyamory.
Mhm.
Um, so polygamous relationships is basically one person who has multiple partners.
Mhm.
And then polyamory is, of course,
Oh, I
everybody.
didn't even know it was a difference.
Oh yeah, so polyamory is basically open love. So it's like an open relationship, but you're free to
Okay.
love somebody else. Um,
Whoever. Okay.
yeah. So, but of course there's rules even in polyamory. Um,
Right.
so polygamy is like you as a woman, you have more than one man, but
Okay.
that doesn't mean that those men can go out and have more than one woman. They are basically dedicated just to you. You just have them.
Okay.
Whereas
So it's like a
polyamory, yeah, polyamory is more like, you have your man and you might have another man on this side, but your man has another woman on this side. And
yeah,
that other person has another. So it's a community of open love at that point.
a community of open getting diseases. That's just how I look at it. Hell no. That's too
I
much sharing.
agree.
That's too much sharing. It's like where you was at last night. Like, no, you're not bringing that over here. Oh
Right, you
no.
was at Sally's house or you was at Jane's house? Which one was you at? Because
And
Jane
then
was
not
at
just
Peter's
that.
house the other day.
Yeah, and then I heard some people say they weren't like the. So is it? You said it's polygamy the one where they can love anybody?
So polyamory is where you can love anybody.
Okay, the poly. I heard somebody say that, or maybe I watched it somewhere where a woman was in a relationship with a guy, but she also had another guy who was gay, or I guess he was
Yeah,
bisexual. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like that to me is just too much. At that point, it's just like a big orgy or some shit. Like, you know, I don't know.
and that's basically where polyamory kind of falls into. It
Yeah,
is, and at times it is an orgy.
yeah,
Because
okay.
if if this guy and this girl are together, and her guy or her girlfriend is
Hmm.
at the house, and his girlfriend or guy friend is at
Hmm.
the house, then it can become an
Okay.
orgy type of situation. Um,
Yeah. So it's like, is that like swinging?
it is so at that point it becomes swinging.
Okay.
Um, Swinging
I don't
is
understand
a
that
little,
neither.
huh?
I don't understand that. I don't understand that.
Swinging. So swinging
Yeah,
is
like
mixing partners, like
yeah,
with
it's like so. I'm sorry, not to cut you off. Do you feel like when it comes to swinging, do you feel like say it's a man and his wife, but he wants to see his wife have like, is it a pleasure that they get from seeing their wife have sex with somebody else or something?
yeah, and for the
Because
woman
I've
it's the
heard
same
someone
thing.
say that before. Okay,
Yeah, for the woman it's the same
that's
thing. Like
weird.
a woman.
Fucking weird. But okay. I
So
mean, whatever.
there are women out there who will definitely get off on watching their man be with another woman, and there's guys who get off on watching their woman be with another man.
Yeah.
Um, and I, mhm.
I had a coworker. The only reason why I know about this is I really don't know too much about swingers and stuff like that. But I can say I worked with this guy when I was like young, and he basically, you know, it was just us two, and he like, yeah, me and my wife are swingers. We have swinger parties, and he like, I like seeing my wife, you know, get fucked by another guy. Da da da. And I'm like, that's wow, you know. And then after that, it was like mad years went by, and then I started hearing about it again more recently. Like people, I guess there's swinger clubs and stuff. I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I didn't know it was a thing. You know, so I'm just like,
it's
I don't
definitely a
know.
thing. Um, I will say I've enjoyed the swinger life at one point in my life.
Oh, you did?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, it was, but it has to be. So even when you swing, there
Okay.
are rules, and the biggest thing with everything is if everybody follows the rules. So even in a monogamous relationship,
Mhm.
you'll say, okay, well, there's the rules. You can't be with nobody. I can't be with nobody. That's the rule. That's the rule.
Yeah.
Follow the rules, and we good. We don't have to break them.
Right.
Even, so when you get into like swinging and polyamory, there are rules.
Okay.
So when you're swinging, like you will sit down with your mate and say, okay, so these are the things that you can do. These are things you can't do.
Okay.
Um, so I've met a swinger couple who their rule was she can't take it vaginally from another guy. She can only take it anally,
Okay.
and she was cool with that because she got off on that, and she was like, cool. My pussy's his, and the ass is I can share, and
Yeah.
that was his rule.
So my question is, it's just like once you, okay, I understand there are rules, but it's like, how much respect do you really have for your partner if they're willing to just share you? You know, because it's like, okay, we got these rules right here, but who's to say, okay, well, he's cool if I do this, you know, he's not home, I'm going over here. I just feel like it's free game at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you notice your partner be with other people sometimes. So why is it like I'm dictating when it happens? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it, you're in a relationship and it's about respect, but I kind of I feel like it's hypocritical. I don't know.
So it falls in a line where so when I was in a relationship
Okay.
with a female, we were swingers. So one of my rules was if I'm not there, nothing happens. Like if it's gonna happen, I gotta be
Okay.
there. And for me, even though I know this is gonna sound crazy, but for me, I can control the situation. I can control that there's no emotions getting involved. So
Okay.
emotionally, you're mine. Like your emotions go to nobody else. Your
Okay.
body, we can play around with that. We can. Um, but that was one of my rules. Also, one of my rules was no kissing, because kissing to me is emotional.
Yeah.
Kissing is something intimate that only me and that person would share.
Yeah.
So, for me, those are my rules. For her rules, she had a plethora of rules, but like she had a bunch of damn different rules that I had to go by. But if I want to keep this going, I'm gonna go ahead and play with those rules.
So, was it ever a period of time that you was in this relationship that you broke the rules and you said, you know what, I'm gonna go over here. She ain't gonna know. She ain't gonna know about it. So it's like, do you feel like
No,
it's ever been a point in time that so you don't feel like neither one of y'all ever broke the rules?
so I know I didn't break the rules. There was times I gave her an opportunity to like if she was with another woman
Uh-huh.
and I wasn't able to be there, I'd be like, go ahead and do your thing, which that's breaking one of my rules. My rule is I got to be there. So
Okay.
I allowed that rule to be broken. But as far as me, I never broke the rules because I'm thinking to myself, why cheat? What the hell reason would I possibly have for going out and cheating and breaking the rules? I am given carte blanche to do pretty much what the hell I want.
Right.
She
Yeah.
just has to be there. There's no kissing. Um,
Okay. I understand that.
so it was like even when I had women press up on me, I would say to them, if you want me, this is who you need to call.
Mm.
Because if she accepts you and if she says it's okay for me to be with you, we could be together. But she's
Yeah.
gonna be there.
Okay. So
And
I
go ahead.
now I understand because you like okay, as long as they know I can do what I want. So it's technically like you're not cheating. You don't got to be sneaky. I understand that. I get it.
Right. So it was like, and so women who were being underhanded and thinking I could take him from
Mhm.
her, they
Mhm.
didn't want to go through to that because they were thinking, well, if she knows about it, I really can't take him. Like he'll
Yeah.
never be just mine.
Yeah.
So when they would back off, I was like, oh, so you were thinking that you and I can get together and I could push her out the picture. And I was like, no, why? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
First of all, you're not going to allow me to do the things that she allows me to do.
Right.
So,
And she lets you
and
be
that,
yourself. So I understand that.
yeah. And at that time, at that place in my life, that's
Mhm.
pretty much who I was. I knew
Yeah.
at that time I couldn't be with one woman.
Okay.
And when me and her got together, I was like, yo, I like the pleasure of multiple women. I just enjoy that shit. I said it's not a
Yeah.
fantasy for me, it's a fetish. It's something I really enjoy doing. And
Yeah.
for her, she was like, well, you know what? I would rather meet you there than have you go out and run around cheating on me. Now, here's where things got crazy for her, not for me, because
Okay.
she also had a fantasy of being with another man, but she was never able to express that with another guy. So she felt
Okay.
like, you know what, we're being open, we're being honest, we're talking about things. I also want to have a threesome with two guys. And I was like, bet, like, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell you to give me what I want and
Right.
me sitting there going, nah, this won't work for me, nah. I said, so what you want to do? Like, you know somebody? And she was
Okay.
like, no, I don't. And which was like, whew, okay, so you're not out there like just you got this guy on the side. You're like, I just want to bring
Right.
him into the bedroom, but she wanted it, And I
Okay.
gave her
Yeah.
that platform and I gave her that opportunity, and we actually did that, and she enjoyed it, and that's when we started swinging. So
Okay.
at first she was like giving me threesomes, and I was like, yo, this is great, I'm enjoying this. Threesomes every time I want it. And then when she was like,
Mhm.
she wanted two guys at the same time, and I was like, I bet, of course, my rule is he can't touch me. Like I'm not that dude.
Yeah.
But if she wants to enjoy that, the same thing I want to enjoy, like I want to enjoy two women. Why should I think that she's dead inside that she can't possibly want the same thing?
Right.
So it worked for us. It does not work for every couple. It does not work for every person. Um, the
Mhm.
fact that you're honest and you're like, look, that's just not my bag. You know,
Yeah.
I don't I don't want to share my man with anybody.
Yeah.
But it's that open conversation that will get you to that honesty because you may meet a guy that says, well, you know what, that's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
But if you get that out in the open early and you
Mhm.
have those conversations, then you go, "Okay, we can't be together.
Right.
Why get my
Yeah.
feelings wrapped up into you 3, 4, 5, 7 years down the line, and I realize that you can't be with just one person. Let's talk
Right.
about this shit now. Let's talk about it up front.
Right. Yeah. I feel like, I feel like a lot of men, they don't want to be in monogamous relationships. And I feel like they're just not honest about it. Because I feel like, regardless, it's like sometimes men just want their cake and eat it too, So it's like, oh, I have an attraction for this woman and I really want to have sex with her or, fake be with her, whatever the case may be. But I still want to do me and have sex with all of these other women too. But I feel like you said, if they were more honest about it, there are definitely a lot of women out there that would be for it. So you're not sitting here playing with people's feelings, and you get exactly what you want because a lot of men who don't want to be in a monogamous relationship, all they do is cheat, and then
Hmm.
you hear the woman mouth because it's like where you was at, you was doing this, you was doing that, and then they mad at you because you nagging at them. You know what I'm saying? Well, you could literally just ask for exactly what you wanted. Like, I want this. If you're not willing, I'm gonna find a woman that do, and then you're happy. But I don't feel like
Right.
you can sit there and be mad at a woman for nagging and being mad when that's not what she knew she was signing up for.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Yeah.
and when you give somebody an opportunity to say yes or no, sometimes you'll be amazed at the answer you get, but
Yeah.
sometimes you'll just realize that's not the person I'm supposed to be with. That's it.
Right. Right. Exactly. Like when I seen the one guy on my Facebook who was talking about, he wants to go on a date with two women. I was amazed by how many women was like, "Oh, I'm down," like and I was even clicking on the pro. There were some beautiful women. Like, dang, like women really be down for stuff like this. So I feel like men just need to find what they want. I feel like everybody is different. Some people do. Some men and women want to be in monogamous relationships. They want one partner. They want build because they feel like it's less stress. Like I don't have to please more than one woman. It's expensive when you're dealing with more than one woman. You know what I'm saying? If you're a provider, you taking care of them. So some men only want the headache of one woman. Um, so it's not all about like sexual desires. It's deeper, like building a union. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it does sometimes go beyond sex. As in especially in polygamous relationships, it goes far
Hmm.
beyond sex.
Yeah.
But for guys, most guys that sit there and go, you know what, I want to have more than one woman. Is most of them are thinking of the sexual aspect of that, but
Right.
you still have a range of emotions that you have to deal with more than one woman. Like I myself,
Hmm.
and I've enjoyed being with more than one woman sexually in a
Hmm.
relationship. Hell no, one woman, please. That's it.
Right.
One woman.
Right.
I need
Yeah.
one menstrual cycle. I need one
Right.
headache. I need one set of emotions to deal with. I just need one, only one. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I
Sexually,
think.
we could do the threesomes, but emotionally,
Yeah.
relationship, one. That's it.
Yeah. I seen this documentary in Africa where they was like the men be having, up to like seven wives, and they kind of explained it too because they want to have a whole bunch of kids, so they like need more than one person to help take care of the kids. Um, when one woman gets on her cycle, she's to just rest the whole 7 days while the other women pick up the slack. So somebody's cooking, somebody's cleaning, somebody doing laundry. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like their own little village. Um, I mean, I understand that, but I don't know.
You still like
I'm
no? You still like hell no? That ain't you.
hell no, baby. I'm too jealous. Like, no, hell no. Like, I know. I just want what's mine. I don't know if it has to do with like some deep rooted stuff when I was a child having to share stuff with my siblings, but no, I'm not sharing nothing. Not my food, not my man. I'm not sharing none of that. I'm so serious. Yeah.
So, like I've been around. So at one point I was Muslim. I was a practicing Muslim, and I,
Okay.
I I knew Muslim brothers who had more than one wife,
Mhm.
and I had Christian friends of mine who go, "Oh, so you Muslim, so you can have more than one wife?" And I was like, "No,
Mhm.
no, I don't care what religion I'm practicing, no,
Mhm.
because there's also rules that you got to take care of all of them equally. You got to provide time
Exactly.
for them equally. There's only one me. What the hell? No, I can't do it.
Right. Right.
You know, I'm gonna be everything that I could possibly be for that one woman when it
Mhm.
comes to being the provider or sharing the bills and just sharing a life with one another. One. That's it.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's it. I've seen people do it. I have a cousin that's a co-wife.
Okay.
I have an aunt that was a co-wife, and I'm sitting there going, "Yo, like, no," and I'm looking at their husbands like, "Wow, no, no. How do you do that? How do you deal with that range of emotion? Because not
Right.
everybody's menstrual cycle is the same. Some people are angry, some people are happy,
Right.
some people want to
Yeah.
talk a lot, some people don't want to talk at all. How do you deal with that either being in the same household, especially if you got to go from one house to the other house and you got to go bounce
Right.
back and forth. You got to
Right.
reprogram yourself. So over here, she likes to talk all the time. And this one over here, she don't want to talk at all. And you got to
Yeah.
reprogram it. I'm good. I'm fresh on that.
Yeah.
No, not
Yeah.
my
It's a
bag.
lot. Yeah.
So I know you had people posing questions to you
Yes,
in
I have
preparation
some
of the
too.
show, and I was like,
Hmm.
yo, I was watching your IG, and I was like, oh my god, we got to answer some of these questions.
Yeah, they asked some. So I got one question. It says, "Do you tell your partner that you didn't enjoy the sex?"
Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
There's a way to tell somebody. No matter what, you're gonna hurt their feelings, especially if it's a guy.
Right,
Um, Women take it more so. Okay, so what do I need to do to improve?
right,
Men, because they have a fragile ego, they'll sit there and go, "Well, now you something must be wrong with you if you don't enjoy my sex. Everybody else enjoys my sex. What's wrong with you?"
right.
But you
Yeah,
do tell it. You
I
do have to
I
tell
I
it.
believe I believe so too. I definitely feel like men's egos might be crushed, but I feel like it's important because I feel like when it comes to sex, it's not just about your own pleasure. It's about both of y'all pleasures. So it's like if I'm pleasing you, but you're not pleasing me, I need to speak up on that. So and some people be off for self, but I feel like until you express that, you know, how they gonna know? Like, all right, you
Right.
need to, you need to do something. It's hard. I ain't gonna lie. When I was, it was. I guess when I was like in my, because I'm chilling now, but um, before, like in my 20s, if it was bad, I didn't know how to like properly, nicely say it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or say like for a man like come real fast or something. I'd be like, hell no, like and where I feel like it probably would hurt his feelings, where now I feel like I'm more considerate, and I know some men have problems too, like erectile dysfunction and stuff like that. So um I don't know. I feel like as I'm older, I would probably try to say it in a way where I'm like not crushing their ego because it can be something that they're very insecure about if it's like a serious problem, you know.
So I hope hopefully the person that asked you that question gets to watch the show. Um,
Hmm.
and if you do get the chance to watch the show, let me say it like this: it's not what you say; it is how you say it.
Right.
Um, if a man is not doing something for you, and for guys, if a woman's not doing something for you and they're not pleasing you, and you know what, since you know what, this is the threesome show, and we ain't gonna leave nobody out. For ladies, if you with a lady and she's not doing what she needs to do for you, and guys, if you with a guy and he's not doing what you need to do for you, so we cover all the bases.
Yeah.
Um, Basically, instead of telling them what they're not doing for you, tell them how they can please you.
Right.
Tell them the things that they can do to please you. So this way, you're not discounting what they already do. You're just kind
Hmm.
of focusing them back on what they should be doing.
Right.
Um, Guys, if you're with a woman and she's not doing something for you, do not be afraid to say to her, "Hey, can you try next time you do this? Can you try this?"
Right.
Most guys will have a problem with a woman giving them head.
They
If
do.
they're gonna have any problem, that's where they're gonna have the problem. They're
Okay.
never gonna
Not giving
say,
it, not giving it at all, or not giving it right.
not giving it right. Not giving it at all is a whole different conversation. That's different conversation.
They
But
gonna
not
write her
giving it
off.
right, just like women, not all guys are the same. So if a woman is used to doing it a certain way and she comes to you and she's doing it that way and it doesn't work for you, all you have to say to her is, next time we do this, why don't you try this? This kind of feels good to me. Try this,
Right.
as opposed to telling her what she's not doing right,
Mm.
or what she's doing wrong. Tell her what to do for you right,
Right.
ladies, ladies, and guys listening on this as well. Ladies, if a guy is not pleasing you properly, and for women, it's mostly the same thing. It's a man
Hmm.
not giving head the right way, a man
Yeah.
not going down on her the right way.
What
Either
if he
do
ain't
one.
making her have an orgasm? What about that?
So there's two reasons why a guy's not going to make a woman have an orgasm. One, he doesn't realize that a woman does not get an orgasm from penetration. It's very few women on this planet who have an orgasm from penetration. That means that it's going to take some clitoral stimulation for her to have an orgasm. So
Mhm.
for guys, and this is for every guy that watches this show. I don't give a fuck where the hell you are or who the hell you think you are. You mighty long dick. I don't give a fuck. All that shit. If you watch this show, please
Mhm.
understand. Every woman is stimulated differently,
Yes.
and most of them are not stimulated by penetration.
Mm.
So what you
Okay.
do is you have that woman show you how she pleases herself, because she knows what the fuck she likes. If nobody else knows, she knows what she likes. Show her how she pleases. Let her show you how she pleases herself. She doesn't need no input from you. She doesn't need any. You don't have to get involved. Sit back, watch, observe, and whatever she does with her finger, you do with your tongue. And I promise you, that woman will be as equally satisfied with you as she is with herself, and even more so because now she has her partner focusing in on that same spot.
Yeah. I
Ladies,
mean,
go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
I I personally I don't like to have an orgasm off of like head
Off of what?
or
Say that one more time.
off of off a head. I don't know. I don't.
Really?
For a fact. So, like, no, I want some dick, and that's how I want to have an orgasm. But you laughing? I'm serious. So that's why I'm like, I don't know how true that is. I can't say that's true for me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like something that I did feel like I learned in my 20s for me, because like you said, every woman's body is different. I feel like I have to be in control of me getting mine. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Um, I do. Like, but it's not off of like head or nothing like that, but I feel like I'm more in control of it. So it's like, let me control because I know how to get mine off, okay? And I feel like and for that to happen, I feel like a man has to just have more like control over himself, not fellas, ladies come first. Ladies always gonna come first. So you don't go. I say it's all right. So that's all I'm gonna say. Like,
Fellas, you heard it from a lady right here. She is
ladies come
telling you,
first.
do not think that you can sit there and think if you come first for guys, if you come first, that you still gonna be as attentive and as focused on her body as if you let her come. I promise you, if you make her come first, she will make sure that you are thoroughly satisfied
Yeah.
without a doubt. But if you sit there and think that you can come first and you can sit there and go, okay, I got you, I got you afterwards, you're not. You're not
No.
going to do it. You're not going to do it. You're not.
You gonna make it into them group chats thinking like, girl, we did it again. Like, no, no, like ladies gotta come first. Like, like you shouldn't even feel good about yourself knowing like you should know like you should feel good about yourself knowing like, all right, took care of my lady. Now let me sit back, she ready to take care of me. So
Exactly.
I feel like that's just how I go.
Exactly. And that's why oral sex for when a man gives a woman oral sex, it's for her pleasure, it's to make her come,
Hmm.
but it should also be for the guy. Like, okay, so
Yeah.
I did my thing first.
Yeah.
Now, ladies, I'm gonna say this to you all.
Okay, we're
Do not be
listening.
a selfish lover. Don't be no selfish lover. Oh, I got mine. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, he have to go in the bathroom and handle his. No, if he takes care of you first, then
Hmm.
reciprocate. But
Right.
guys, take care of her first. Like get her out the way, get her taken care of, and I promise you, every time
Yeah.
she'll make sure you good.
Yeah. That's just how I feel. I feel like some men they're selfish or they don't know how to control their penises. I feel like sometimes
They
that's the issue.
and I've had group conversations with guys, and guys have the weirdest conversations. Um, but anytime a guy hears a conversation where he's not the focal point,
Hmm.
they kind of shut down. And I've
Okay.
had conversations with guys, and I'm like, look, you know what I'm saying, like, do this for your woman. You know what I'm saying? Do that for your woman. And they're like, well, nah, what's she doing for me? And I'm like, trust me, if you do these things, you ain't got no problem with her doing anything for you. Like, she'll take
Right.
care of you, but you have to make it so that she's the focal point. And for any guy out there that thinks that you can go into a situation with a woman and you can just make sure that you're pleased, you're definitely not ready for a threesome. Because now you got two women that has to be pleased.
Exactly.
You have two
Exactly.
women that got to be thoroughly satisfied. And yes, they're going to satisfy each other, but they're still looking for you to be an input on that satisfaction. Otherwise, fuck are you there for? Like, why are you there?
Exactly.
They can take care of themselves by themselves.
Hmm.
But if you plan on having a threesome, you got to make sure that both of those women get up and are so satisfied they're looking back at you going, "Damn, how the fuck he just do that?" You
Exactly. Like
know,
no woman will never forget good sex, even if it
they
comes from a
won't.
toxic person. They gonna be having flashbacks like, God damn, So that's just something that women will never forget. Now, some bad sex, they gonna be like, hell no, I ain't even wasting my damn time. So I don't know. And I
So
just and I
go
feel
ahead.
like men, like I feel like when I was talking about like men having erectile dysfunction and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of stuff like that where it's like a health problem and you can't control it. I feel like a lot of men don't, they'll go get them little gas station pills and stuff like that, but it's actually I feel like more in your diet, like what you're eating. It's certain things you can eat to, so that you can perform better, and certain herbs and stuff like that. So I feel like that's not an excuse, I feel like if you lacking in that area, like you need to take care of your health.
So and I guess we're veering off from the question, but this may help that same person because if she's dealing with an older gentleman,
Hmm.
um, a guy that's in his 40s or late 40s, guys go through a depletion of testosterone, and
Okay.
guys don't know this. And I actually had a conversation a couple of years back with a female friend of mine. And her man was not able to perform. He wasn't able to. He had what anyone else would consider erectile dysfunction. Like he couldn't get
Hmm.
up anymore.
Yeah.
Everything else in their marriage was perfect. He took care of the kids. He took care of her. His check came home. Everything else in their marriage was absolutely perfect, but there was no sex.
Yeah.
Um, if you're dealing with a guy who's in his anywhere from 35 on up and they're not able to perform the way that they used to, it's a low testosterone issue.
Yeah.
And you have to of course, definitely go to your doctor and get checked out and have your doctor tell you, what's wrong. But I can 9 times out of 10, I can definitely say it's gonna be a low testosterone issue, especially if it's coupled with increased emotions. Like
Hmm.
a dude that's really emotional, he's probably suffering from low T. And there's
Yeah.
there's things you can go to the over the counter, go to the drugstore and get, you know, vitamins that provide testosterone.
Right.
But if he doesn't know what's wrong and she doesn't know what's wrong, and there's just this open frustration of she's not pleased, he's feeling less than a man, so
Right.
he's automatically gonna think she's out cheating because I'm not the man I'm supposed to be.
Right.
But opening up those conversations, we can keep
Yeah.
let's keep the
Yeah.
questions going. Any other
Yeah.
questions? We can, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I just want. I feel like those men, and I know they probably are very insecure about stuff like that, But I feel like it is, it can be fixable. I feel like some men just don't dig deep enough. Like, you know, this is an issue. Let me try to fix this problem. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I feel like it can happen at any age, you know. So
It really can.
yeah,
It really can.
yeah. I
And
don't
there
know.
are. Go
I'm
ahead. No, go
sorry.
ahead.
I just,
Mm-mm.
you know, I don't feel like men should walk because like you said, I feel like that can make them feel less than a man, you know. So I don't feel like no man should be walking around like disappointed because they're like, I can't satisfy my woman. You know, I can imagine like
Hmm.
how insecure and that, you know, down it makes them feel. So I feel like, you know, just take care of your health, you know. And that's a whole nother subject we got to talk about too. So
Oh yeah. Oh, you see, I promise you, everybody, we are going to touch base on everything that you're going through at some point in this show. If you're watching this show, stay watching because we're going to touch on everything that you're going through, whether it be how do you deal with certain things in your relationship or sexually. But we also going to educate you on sex because unfortunately, black people are the most closed-minded when it comes to sex, and we really don't open up those conversations either amongst our groups or with our mate. So you'll find that if you just open up those conversations, one, you'll learn some things, and two, you'll learn some things about the person that you're with. Um, but yeah, if any other questions that because you had the questions flowing.
yeah, so uh let me say, what do you value the most in a relationship? What is the most important thing? Most important things.
So the most important thing in a relationship is open communication. I know everybody's gonna be, oh, you're just cliche shit. Oh, that sounds really cliche, but no, it
Yeah,
is, and it will fix a lot of problems.
facts.
If you have conversations about how you feel, that'll fix a lot of the feeling issues. If
Right,
you have sexual conversations, then it will definitely fix those sexual moments. Like you can't know what your woman wants or what she will agree to. And ladies, you will never know what your man will agree to if you
hmm,
never ask. You
right.
know, um, I had a woman that I was dealing with for a very long time. I think we were together for about 10 years. The whole time we were together, I liked threesomes, but I would
Hmm.
never bring it up to her because I felt like, oh, that's something she's not into. A month after we broke up, we sat down and had a conversation, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm having threesomes now." She's like, "Why you never asked me to do that?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, you was with it?" And I felt like the biggest idiot on the planet. I was like, "Are you serious?" And she
Yeah,
was like, "Yeah, I would have did that." And I was like, "Wow," but I never asked the question.
right.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. I definitely feel like communication is big. I feel like for me it's like respect. Um being reciprocal. I feel like, you know, when I'm pouring into you, pouring into me, you know. I feel like I'm a woman, so the things that I value the most is it's like a whole list full. So I don't know. I just I feel like as a woman though, as I'm getting older, a big thing that I definitely would value in a relationship is like protection.
Mm.
Cause I feel like my whole life, like, you know, I'm good. I've been by myself for a while, so it's like I'm good. But it's like sometimes I feel like us women, you know, like we have to go out here and we work just as hard as men, you know, and I feel like it'd be a point where sometimes we can't let our guard down, you know, where it's like we always have our guard up, you know. So I can say feeling protected is something that I truly value as I'm getting older.
So let me ask you this, right?
Hmm.
I'm glad you brought that up. So as a woman, like, what do you feel constitutes protection? Because most guys will think, saying like I carry a gun, saying I can hold her down, but that's
Right.
not always protection, you
No,
know.
no, no, no. Yeah. Protection, just feeling safe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Feeling like I can talk to you, you know, about what I'm going through and you're actively listening and you giving me advice or you know, just a safe space for me to be a woman where I don't have to be so dominant and you know, like
Mm.
that's just how I feel like protected. You know, it's not like physically like, oh, I want you to go beat his ass up, like, because he looked at me wrong or something. No, it's not that. It's just giving me like a safe space to let my guard down and be the woman that I am, you know, and not be so defensive, like, you know, or have my guard up because I have to, you know. So that's
Okay.
really just it. Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like some men, not all, but some men, you know, like they're not good listeners. They be crazy because they want to go to women and be like, "What should I do? You know, I need help when it comes to this. I got this idea, whatever." And sometimes I don't feel like men always reciprocate that. You know, where it's like, you know, I had a long day or a bad day, and I'm venting to you, and you just looking at me like, okay, what you want me to do about it? You know what I'm saying? So, um, but I feel like men are supposed to be our leaders. So it's like if we coming to you, it's because we need you. You know, we need you
Right.
to explain to us like, what should I do? What do you think I should do? Because we naturally, you know, follow men's lead. So yeah,
And I'll
those are
definitely
some things.
say I'll definitely say this, guys, guys that are listening, um, and if you don't take anything else from the show, hopefully you take a lot of the shit that we said on the show to heart. But if you don't take
Yeah.
anything else to heart, um, sometimes your woman needs advice, and sometimes she just needs a sounding board. Sometimes she just needs to bounce her ideas off of you,
Hmm.
but actively listen either way. You know, actively
Yeah.
sit there and go, you know what? When she needs advice, don't discount what she's going through
Right.
with your advice. You know, just say to her, you know, maybe you can look at it this way as opposed to looking at it this way.
Hmm.
But don't discount how she feels or what she's going through because what she's going through is important to her.
Exactly.
Um, it's important to her. It may only be important to her for that moment. It could be just the 5 minutes that she's telling you. That's the level of importance that that shit is for her. But for that
Hmm.
5 minutes, that is the most important thing on her plate at that moment.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and, and when it comes to being a sounding board, actively listen. Just
Yeah.
listen. You know,
Yeah. Because
one of
if
my go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, no, go
I
ahead.
just feel like if you don't give me a safe space to where it's like I can let my guard down and talk to you, you know, I feel like that's where women they got their male homeboys or they male friends that like, yeah, I listen to whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want your woman to, and it's vice versa too, you know, because some men don't feel like they can talk to women, you know. So just like you said with communication, I feel like, you know, y'all should be able to communicate with each other, you know, and be there for each other. You know, nothing should ever feel one sided. You know.
No, I totally agree. But and the crazy thing is, more women are willing to listen to their men. And I know I sound like I'm the advocate for women. I'm not. I'm
Mhm.
definitely an advocate for guys. But by being
Yeah.
an advocate for guys, I need to tell guys how to do things based on the mistakes that I've made. You know,
Right.
and the research that I've done. And the bottom line is, your woman is always listening to you.
Right.
Even when you think you're just talking, she hears every single word that's just coming out of your mouth, and she is holding on to that shit because if you say I like X, she's thinking of how the fuck can I get X for him? Do the same thing for her, you know.
Right.
Um,
Right.
sit back, listen, and mentally take notes. But
Right.
not every time does she need you to say I'm your savior and I can fix all your problems because you can't fix every problem. Some
Right.
problems she just want to get off her chest and she'll
Right.
move
Yep.
on. As long as the problem's not you, you should be fucking happy. You know,
Yeah.
if the
Right.
problem's not you, you should be happy that the problem she's talking about is not you.
Yeah.
But if you don't
Yep.
listen long enough, the problem will become you, and that's when comes to you and she says, "We need to talk." Now the problem is you, mother. Like the problem is
Mhm.
all you because she needs to talk about you. But if she's
Mhm.
just talking to get some stuff off her chest
Yeah.
and let you know what she went through the day or what she's been going through for the week, sit back and listen.
Right.
I promise you, the highlights to be on that basketball game or that football game. You can watch the highlights and you'll see everything you need to, but just take a moment out of your time and listen to her. You know,
Yeah.
listen to what she
Yep.
has to say.
Yeah. So that I feel like that's very important in a relationship.
I feel like, and I think it's, and I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will put it in the comments. But as a black race, we get so self-centered
Hmm.
on what we're going through that what the other person is going through becomes less important.
Right.
Um, I know white friends who they sit and listen to their women all day. They can stay back verbatim
Hmm.
exactly everything that she's going through for the week. But black guys, we're sitting there and we're going, well, what she's going through didn't affect me. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm happy about
Right.
that, and I don't care what the hell she's going through otherwise. But
Right.
you have to listen to what the woman's going through, what she's dealing with.
Yeah.
Um, and for everybody that tunes in, for everybody that listens, we're not the foremost expert on everything, but I promise you, if we don't have the answer, we'll find it for you. If
Yes.
you have a question, or if you're dealing with a situation and you want us to talk about it on the show, reach out to us. You can reach out to us directly. You can reach out to Bridget on IG, and we're gonna she'll drop her IG tag in a second. You can
Yep.
reach out to me directly, DJ Teflon Don, or you can hit us on the threesome show and we will definitely address it. Because everybody's going through something, and if you don't know how to address it, you're just going to continue to go through it. And a lot of relationships are ending because you don't know how to have the conversation about the things you're going through.
Yep.
So that's our time. But we've enjoyed it with y'all.
Yes.
Tune in all the time.
Yes.
Hit subscribe and hit the notification button so every time we drop a show, you will know that we dropped the show and you can tune in. Until the next time, I am Don, the pleasure coach,
And I'm Bridget.
and this is the threesome show, and we will definitely see y'all on the next time.